Hello everyone. Magandang hapon. Konnichiwa. Namaskar. Suostel Pelor Ciel. Tachiawan. Good afternoon everyone, wherever you are in Asia Pacific. I'm Kane Errol Choa, Vice Chair and Recognition Director of IABC Asia Pacific from the Philippines. And welcome to the Winning the Quill Game webinar brought to you by the International Association of Business Communicators Asia Pacific. IABC is a vibrant global membership organization with thousands of communication professionals from all over the world as members. IABC's Gold Quill Awards have recognized and awarded excellence in strategic communication around the world for over 40 years. Gold Quill Awards are divided into two categories: awards of merit for entries with a score of 5.25 to 5.74 out of 7, and awards of excellence for entries with a score of 5.75 or higher. This year, 23 entries from 3 countries in Asia Pacific were honored with Gold Quill Awards. Next year, we hope to see more entries and winners from more countries in the region. And if you are based in Asia Pacific, you have the chance of gaining 2 recognitions for your Gold Quill submission. Remember, all Gold Quill entries that score 5.12 or higher will receive Silver Quill Awards from IABC Asia Pacific. So your single Gold Quill entry can earn double international recognitions. Now, isn't that wonderful? So here are the important dates to remember. If you submit your entry on or before December 11, you will pay a lower entry fee. And IABC members, whether students or professionals, also enjoy lower Gold Quill entry fees. So to help you with your submission, we have invited some of Gold Quill winners from the region today to showcase their award-winning projects. And our first presenter is the Head of Strategic Communication at the NSW Public Service Commission and the winner of multiple Gold Quills. This year, her team was awarded 2 Gold Quill Awards of Excellence for the PSC's Website Transformation Project. She has more than 20 years of experience as a communication professional working in both the UK and Australia. She's passionate about leading teams to achieve high-value outcomes using connection and human-centered methodologies for authentic results. Please welcome Jen Black. And joining Jen from her team is a senior advisor at the NSW Public Service Commission with 10 years of experience in strategic communication, marketing, and PR. She's passionate about developing communications that are aligned with and for customers to create meaningful impact. Let's welcome Claire Smith. Together, Jen and Claire will be presenting the Website Transformation Project for Australia's NSW Public Service Commission, which won a Gold Quill Best of the Best Award in the Communication for the Web category.
Thanks so much, Kane, and hello everyone. It really is wonderful to see you all here today and interested in doing a Gold Quill entry. That's really an undertaking of such great value to you as a communication professional and also the organisation that you're a part of. Participating in Gold Quills, firstly as an entrant and more recently as an evaluator, and now I'm going to be chairing the Blue Ribbon panel in Sydney this year, has really deepened my knowledge and expertise as a communicator, as well as helping me network with other communication professionals across my region and internationally. It's really a great thing to do. Today, I'd like to begin our presentation by making an acknowledgement of country. This is a practice we have in Australia to pay our respects to the traditional owners and First Nations people of Australia. Today, I acknowledge that I'm hosting this meeting from the lands of the Gadigal people. I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands on which you all work today and participate in this meeting, and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people present today as well. So as Kane said, Claire and I work at the New South Wales Public Service Commission, and our website transformation project won 2 awards of excellence at the 2021 Gold Quill Awards for internal communication and communication for the web. We were also thrilled to be awarded Best of the Best in the Communication for the Web category. So today our presentation will be in two parts. First, we want to take you through our project, and then we'll talk specifically about how we compiled our quill entry. So over to Claire now for an overview of our award-winning project.
Thanks, Jen. Hi, everyone. Really great to be here with you all today. And I also would like to acknowledge that I'm joining the meeting from Gadigal and Wongal land here in Sydney. So firstly, a bit about our context. The Public Service Commission, or PSC, is an independent New South Wales government agency. So our purpose is to be a trusted partner and advisor in creating a world-class public sector. We do this by designing and implementing programs that uplift workforce capability and culture. Our core audience is HR professionals and leaders in other New South Wales government agencies. Our website is our primary external communications channel. And through it, we offer our customers the tools they need to do their jobs. And research and data had showed us that the website was not meeting customer needs, and this was affecting our organizational impact and reputation. This was proven even further when during our user research, it took one of our core customers 6 minutes to find a resource that was essential to do their job. Over the years, internal teams at the PSC had worked separately on their sections of the website without prioritising a cohesive brand or customer experience. The site itself had become visually inconsistent, difficult to navigate, and made up of multiple microsites. The website was a very visible consequence of a lack of collaboration across our agency. And it was clear that a website transformation was required and that improving internal collaboration would be a key enabler to that success. So to turn this around, the strategic communication team led a website transformation project to address those root cause issues. We used human-centered design to get a full understanding of content creation within the PSC. So human-centered design, or HCD, is a process that's about designing solutions that meet your customers' needs and building a deep empathy with the people you're designing for. In this project, we used a full HCD sprint methodology, including phases for framing a design challenge, discovery, ideation, and prototyping solutions. We also worked with leaders in our organisation to identify our core brand attributes, gaining consensus on how to visually express our brand. So the quotes on this slide are from our user research that we did in our discovery phase. These quotes really go to the heart of the problem we were trying to solve. Information on our website was not discoverable, and when you did find the information, it wasn't easy to understand. So our goal was to create a website that would improve customer engagement with our products and services and enhance our organizational reputation. We saw increasing internal collaboration to achieve best practice content design as a key enabler of this. Because without that shared understanding internally about how customers interacted with our website, content would continue to be created in a way that didn't meet customer needs. So to aligning with those strategic goals, we set our measurable objectives as increasing teamwork and collaboration across our organisation, increasing the rating of our website by independent experts, and increasing session time on the website to demonstrate that increased engagement with our new content. To build our teamwork and collaboration, we worked hard at cultivating a content design movement across the PSC. Our research had shown we needed to develop a new process for creating content for our website. So we asked representatives from each of our business teams to volunteer as content ambassadors. And these people became advocates for our new content design process, which was a much more collaborative way of working together. Our new content design process streamlined our website from 600 content pages down to 400. It has increased collaboration across the organization, with one of our content creators observing that this experience has never been as good as this. Senior executives have also noted that the PSC has a better focus on outcomes, collaboration, and support for customers. We saw a 10% increase in teamwork and collaboration across the PSC, as shown through our annual all-staff survey. Website analytics show that the transformation has significantly improved customers' ability to find and engage with content, and our pre-launch testing found that users were more satisfied with their ability to navigate through the new website. And that independent audit of our website assessed the site as improved across all of the criteria, an 18-point increase from our baseline. And it's been acknowledged as well as an exemplar of government brand and standards in New South Wales. So back to Jen to give an overview of our approach to entering the Gold Quills.
Thank you, Claire. As Claire mentioned earlier, the Public Service Commission's purpose is to help shape a world-class workforce. And to do that, we need to have world-class communications. Entering the Quills was our way of benchmarking our work against a robust rubric and testing if we met a global standard. We could see the impact the project was having ourselves, and we wanted to get external validation of that for us and for our organisation. When we started to write and prepare our entry, we approached it as an opportunity to share our story through our work plan and the work samples, which are a really crucial part of your entry. Every assertion that we made in the narrative of our work plan, we backed up with evidence and data in our work samples, helping to flesh out the full story. Wherever appropriate, we included the customer voice, both internal and external customers, because their quotes and their voices are so compelling, a really powerful way of getting, well, we felt, our point across. We also took time to craft our entries to do our story justice. We wrote it and we rewrote it. We got feedback from a previous Gold Quill winner, and we kept refining. We also put ourselves in the shoes of evaluators, keeping in mind that they receive between 8 and 10 entries to mark, and we wanted to make ours a pleasure to read, not hard work. So we were really chuffed to receive this lovely comment from one of our judges in their feedback that you paid close attention to your entry, which is beautifully organised and a pleasure to read. You're allowed to provide up to 5 work samples in your entry, and we took advantage of supplying the full 5. Ours included a data summary showing how we had calculated our chosen measurable objectives, but it also included qualitative feedback such as the quotes from customers to round out and back up the story we were telling with the numbers. You can see here a screenshot of our work sample number 2, which was a summary of the discovery phase of our project. This phase set us up for success with the initiative and gave us a really solid understanding of root cause issues. So it was very important to include. Our third sample was a short video on one of the new internal processes that we created for the project, making it into a mini story of its own. And you can see a screenshot of that on the slide. And work sample 4 was our implementation plan that included screenshots with examples of the tactical communications that we'd used throughout the project. Again, just giving that overarching view of everything that we had put into it over the many months that we were working on the initiative. And work sample 5 was a summary of the final product, which included screenshots of what the website was like before and after the transformation. So it was really trying to convey that impact that the new processes had. Throughout the development of our entry, we tried to make it easy for the judges to understand the story and the project, just by providing the right amount of information in a way that was organised and easy for them to read. To that end, all of our written work samples have tables of contents and clear commentary against what we've included and why it's there. Throughout the process, we referenced the Gold Quill entry guide available on the Gold Quill website to make sure that we were addressing all of the requirements. So we would write a section of the work plan and then we'd go and test it against that marking rubric to make sure that we were meeting those requirements as much as we possibly could. We were also really strict about watching the word limit because you don't want to be disqualified for not meeting that quite simple requirement. So to finish, just on a personal note, in May, I attended the IABC World Conference in New York City, and it was an absolute career highlight for me to meet other communication professionals from around the world and hear top people in our field talk about their areas of specialty and generously share their knowledge and experience. It was an incredibly enriching experience for me. And you know what? I wouldn't have dreamt of attending the conference if it wasn't for our success in the Gold Quill. But I'm so glad that we did. So whether you attend a world conference, gain a new insight about your work, or develop a better understanding of output measures versus outcome measures, there is such value in entering Gold Quills. And I wish you all the very best of luck as you complete your entries. Thanks. Back to you, Kane.
Thank you, Jen, and thank you, Claire. So Jen gave us some helpful tips. Make the judges understand your story by organizing the data and presenting things that are necessary and relevant. And of course, reference your entry against the Gold Quill guides, which is available on the website. So check and recheck your entry. Okay, so for those who would like to send questions, there's a Q&A button in the Zoom. Feel free to send your question and direct them to a particular speaker today. We will entertain all the questions later in the program. At this point, I'd like to share that we are launching today IABC Asia Pacific's 2023 Communicator of the Year Awards, which recognize and honor exceptional communication excellence and leadership. We are now accepting nominations for the prestigious awards in two categories, the Executive Leader and the Senior Communication Professional. The winners this year are from the Philippines and India, Charlie Agatep for Executive Leader and Anisu Verghese for Senior Communication Professional, respectively. Nomination forms and more information can be found on the IABC APAC website. There are no entry fees for this award, and the nomination deadline is on March 1, 2023. So much time to prepare, but in the meantime, let's focus on your Gold Quill entry submission. For the next part of the program, our next presenter is the Senior Director for Corporate Affairs and CSR at Walmart Global Tech in India. She currently advises senior management on corporate brand and reputation and ensures India's alignment with the overall Walmart vision and strategy. She extensively supports the employment brand strategy and community relations through contemporary communications practices. She has over 20 years of experience in various fields of communication. Let's welcome Sunita Venugopal. Joining Sunita from her team is the Corporate Affairs Manager of Walmart Global Tech, with 10 years of work experience in enhancing brand visibility and digital engagement through compelling narratives. She holds the Fulbright Scholarship from United States India Education Foundation and is an alumna of IIM Calcutta. Let's welcome Ankurita Roy. Sunita and Ankurita will discuss Converge at Walmart, which won a Gold Quill in the Special and Experiential Events category.
Thank you very much, Kane, and thank you everyone in the audience for joining us today. It's great to be with all of you. Walmart does not need introduction. We are the largest retailer in the world, and it's been 6.5 years for me with Walmart, and I'm still learning. My colleague Anu and I are part of the tech team, which fuels Walmart from India in terms of anything and everything to do with seamless shopping for our customers, leveraging technology. The associates or our employees, about 11,000 of them here in India, cater to close to 230 million customers who shop at Walmart stores and in our website. We are a big company. We are close to $573 billion organization, and we employ close to 2.3 million associates worldwide. In India, our team is focused on building a holistic brand that voices our tech capabilities, nurtures a unified work culture across locations, and making sure that our associates feel empowered, engaged, and motivated to bring their best self to work every day. We don't have stores in India, which makes it even a bit more challenging for us to build a brand here. And hence our objective is pure play talent. We hire talent, more from technology, engineering talent, product talent, data sciences, and so on and so forth. So coming to Gold Quill, Gold Quill has always been an aspiration for our team, which I must admit that it took us a while to crack after one failed attempt. Preparing for it is indeed a process, and we hope to share our experiences with all of you today. Let me take you through this particular project and its suitability that eventually led us to crack the code to win the Gold Quill. The problem for us as a brand in India is we have been on an expanding spree here. From 900 associates when I joined Walmart in 2016 to over 11,000 today, we have added quite a lot of talent. And with, like I said, no stores in India and very frugal marketing budget, it's been a journey to narrate Walmart's story in India. What we embarked on in the last 3 years is to roll out a brand perception survey, which basically helps the communications team to understand what does our target audience think about us. And the audit has actually revealed the necessity of establishing a stronger association between our brand and the entire technology mindset of what our internal associates are thinking and what our external stakeholders' perception about the brand is. The last few years has also been a new challenge for us because we extended our footprint in India with a new center in another state in India, which is Chennai. And this happened at the midst of the pandemic. And adding to that was also a brand identity change internally from Walmart Labs to Walmart Global Tech. And the competition that we face here in India from be it like the startup ecosystem or like more than 1,400 global capability centers is quite a bit challenging for us. In short, the need of the hour was to revamp our strategy and position Walmart Global Tech as a brand in the minds of our target demographics as a pioneer in retail tech, a thought leader, and in the industry as a tech employer of choice. So the solution was based on the first brand audit is to host a large scale event, which is an amalgamation of giving a platform for all to know what's brewing in retail tech. When we meet media, when we meet many folks from the tech industry, people do know Walmart, but they don't know what does Walmart do in India. So we conceptualized Converge for the first time, which was our annual flagship event on retail tech. And this was an event where it was just not about Walmart, but it was about the entire industry coming together and talking about retail tech. It was a 2-day event offering an immersive virtual experience for our audience, one platform for Walmart as well as the industry leaders to come together to talk about finance, retail, healthcare, education, and more. We in fact had a lot of academia participate. We also had the startup ecosystem participate. So it provided an opportunity to showcase our tech capability and attract our audience to kind of attend and know more about it. So what made Converge at Walmart the holy grail for us to win the Gold Quill? So the event was conceptualized based on all the pain points that the brand survey revealed, and it had clear objectives to position ourselves as a tech employer of choice. We had very well-defined key messages to build a strong narrative. It was detailed, and the focus planning on how to utilize resources, budget, how do we overcome challenges, leveraging our leadership team, our own associates, and also influencers. We set the KPI for Converge to help us turn this into an annual flagship event for us, and that gave us the confidence to nominate it for Gold Quill. Anuk actually will walk you through the second phase of the journey, and then I'll come back and share a little bit of tips on what made the entry successful for us. Over to you, Anuk.
Thank you, Sunita. First, let me tell you, we are very excited to be here and share our Gold Quill journey. As we went about stitching the narrative of our success story in the nomination, there were a very few key things about Converge which became our proof point. Planning an event at such a scale needed foresight and alignment with the global management. We went through the details of the project and looped our leadership team way early on. Our communication strategy was based on the organization goals we wanted to achieve. We took stock of the global and regional policies and regulations to make sure the event qualifies at every stage of our planning. An outcome of all our efforts translated to having Doug McMillan, CEO of Walmart Inc., to kick off our Converge event, one of our first of its kind opportunity that we had to feature him in India. To ensure the event speaks to every one of our primary, secondary, and tertiary audience, we brought a stellar list of speakers from across the healthcare, finance, retail, leading academic institutions of India together on one stage to speak about some of the cutting-edge technologies which plays a big role in transforming all these industries. While our speakers delved into the future of entrepreneurship, bridging the gap between academia and industry, we had showcases of some of the best in-house technologies developed by our associates to power Walmart's global retail operations. Converge became what it was because of the exhaustive communication outreach campaign that we launched across internal and external channels. Our leaders and associates became our biggest in-house influencers in this process. We partnered with media houses to create a buzz on external platforms. We put a lot of thought behind the virtual experiences we were offering our audiences. Seamless interactions and continued engagement was on top of our mind as we decided on a scalable platform to host the event. Here's a glimpse of the data, and this was one of the crucial factors on positioning our entry to the Quill nomination. From internal metrics to website footfalls and social media engagement, it all became our success story of establishing Converge as the holy grail to win Quill. The outcome of the event ties back to the KPIs we had set when it comes to targeting the right audience. The largest share of attendees during this event were retail professionals who were clearly our primary target audience, with a considerable number of people from across the other sectors who joined us in this event, which further led to addressing the pain points the brand audit revealed. We surpassed our hiring target and grew in diversity hiring, which was one of the key goals that, at an organization level that as communicators we wanted to address. Converge made Walmart Global Tech in India the talk of the town, with 212 media coverages in some of the leading publication houses in India. We built a very strong brand presence for ourselves, not just as the tech arm of the biggest retailer in the world, but also as a thought leader high on innovation and technology in itself within the ecosystem. All of these became the deciding factor to help us qualify for the prestigious win. After all, as communicators, we believe that we are good storytellers, and where best to tell a story than Gold Quill. Before I conclude, here's a quick video to all the team actions that happen behind the scenes. I'm just going to play it. So thank you so much, and I will hand it back over to Sunita for some final thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, Anu. Just a few tips, and I actually share the same sentiments that even Jen shared, is we worked quite heavily in terms of building the content. We requested our extended teams to review the document. I think that is where it was very helpful, because we had maybe more than 11 or 12 versions of it. And I still remember Anu and I spent a Saturday, maybe 4 or 5 hours just going through, our nomination to submit it. What we felt from the first year when we failed to the second year where, we received the award was we leveraged our case with a lot of data. And I think really looking at the data in the past and how we conceptualized the event, during the event, the data that we had to work on and how we presented, I think that is what helped us to build this case. We also analyzed many Gold Quills, which basically helped us to improve our document process itself. So with that, happy to connect with folks on LinkedIn. If you have any questions today, or if you have questions later, please reach out to us. And over to you, Kane. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Sunita and Ankrita. It's nice looking at your presentation, how Walmart employees and stakeholders gathered together in person. And we could relate to what the journey of Sunita. If at first we fail to win a Gold Quill, we try again, and look, they won a Gold Quill in the recent round. And her tips, get an external team to review your entry. I guess it's nice to have an outsider looking in. They leverage with a lot of data and planned on how to present them in the entry. And those are important tips. So thank you, Sunita and Ankrita. And for our final part of our webinar, we have invited the 2021 chair of the IABC Gold Quill Awards. She currently chairs the Gold Quill Blue Ribbon panel for the Philippines and is an evaluator for Silver Quill Awards of various regions. She has led her corporate teams to win Gold Quill, Philippine Quill, and other communication awards, and extensive experience with award management. With 42 years in the profession, she champions communication excellence for both students and professionals, with her valuable in-depth experience in leading and working with diverse groups and managing sustained, strategic, creative, and startup programs, as well as issue and crisis communication. Let's welcome IABC Fellow Ritzy Villarico Ronquillo, APR.
Thank you very much, Kane. We're having a treat this afternoon with Gold Quill winners who have wonderful stories to share on how to move on in our profession and be really excellent in what we do. So I'd like to share my screen. Allow me, please. There you go. So yeah, we're going to talk about now, and this is a favorite line of mine, going for gold, because this is what this is all about. So let me just there. So, but first, welcome to all our colleagues and friends. Together, let's celebrate our diversity. APAC is a very rich area of the world with wonderful different climes, cultures, and languages. But we are all tied by this focus on communication excellence this afternoon. So welcome to your Gold Quill journey. I'm also a I'm also a product of the Gold Quill journey, and started out just like anyone else, as a newbie who was ordered by my boss to craft something, learn about it. I had no idea at that time what the Gold Quill is all about. And then later on, being an entrant and learning from the feedback that came. In other words, I got the scores and the feedback, but instead of telling myself why I didn't get a trophy, I told myself, this is my trophy. I want feedback. I want to continually learn and be better. Then joined the awards alignment committee, seeing how the spread of the Gold Quill Awards are across different regions, and then chairing the Philippine Quill Awards, being an evaluator for our very own Philippine Quill Awards, as well as regional. So these are the Silver Quill Awards like of Canada and other regions in the US. Chairing the Philippine Blue Ribbon panel here in the Philippines. And finally, joining the awards committee, a very fulfilling time. It's a 3-year term, so as vice chair, then chair, and then past chair. And here we are. So I took it upon myself that once you're in the Gold Quill, you're in it forever. So now I'm mentoring and championing this journey, and I hope everyone else will join me in the journey, just like Jen and Claire, Sarita, and Ancolita, and Kane as well, who's also joined and won. So this is really a journey of becoming. So everyone is a winner, actually. Whether or not you get the trophy, as I said, you get the scores, which are the actual scores, and the verbatim comments of the evaluators. So for me, that is gold already. But you become a winner because your work really raises the bar. It benchmarks with the global standard, and you might even, better yet, set a national, regional, or global communication record with the good work that you do. It is a journey because it enables you to celebrate. And most important, if you look at it, isn't it we do our work because there is a purpose. We just won't spend so much time doing stuff that will not redound to any benefit, whether it's we ourselves as a professional, because it will define us, whether it will be in our organization, because that distinction that we help enable our company to win brands it excellently to our country, because it makes us proud when our flag is flown high at global stage, to our region, because it really completes that, what I call the tapestry or mosaic of cultures and people in it, and to the global community, because it diversifies us further. And of course, to humanity, of which we are all part, because we create work that moves the needle. And when I say moves the needle, it means if there is impact, it creates more good for more people. So because of that, I know that we're in this, and that's exactly why we're spending some time this afternoon. We want to join again and again. And yes, we will do our best in entering our best work. So how do we do this? Well, I think we should begin with the end in mind. So we must think evaluator. How do we do that? Well, here are some tips come from all the years I've spent learning also and working with fellow distinguished communicators the world over. So number 1, assess and choose your program or tool that fits the division and category. How do you know it fits? Well, just read through the descriptions given in the Gold Quill website and the web pages, and you can actually try to fit in your work. What if you're not sure? Then you can do a temporary listing of it. You can also email the Gold Quill at recognition@iabc.com. Early on, ask your questions. It also helps that you ask your questions because that is valuable feedback for the awards committee as well as for the team that supports the Gold Quill Awards. Number 2, gather your supporting documents as you write. This is also something I found out because you're under time pressure of sorts. This is not the only thing you're going to do. You do your regular day job. So what do you do? It could be you to craft it, to write it, to draft it, or it could be someone else in your team. But the best thing I've seen is there has to be a simultaneous, a parallel run. Someone's making the work plan, someone's gathering the work samples, because each one should support the other and the evaluators will assess both. So might as well speed up the process by doing both. Next, number 3, at the outset, secure your budget and get the clearance, make it clear who's going to do this official sign-off on the entry. You're going to spend time putting this together. So my own learning is that when you are able to, if on my backtrack, you assess and choose your program, right? So you make a short list of, I think these are our best works. So one of you can move on, usually the head, the team head, or the whoever is assigned as the project person can already request for budget so that you can really know how many you can finally submit. Can you imagine if you spent days making 4 entries only to be told that the budget will only allow 2? So then the time that you spent would have been wasted, because time is gold when we're at our desk or wherever we are working from. So secure your budget early. Sometimes in the public sector, it is more difficult to get a budget approval. There are layers, there are regulatory requirements. So you must get that early on so you exactly know how many entries you can look forward and focus your energies on for the Gold Quill. Number 4, consistently use, say, one name or group of names as an entrant. Please make sure that they constantly check the email address, and please make sure that the email address or whatever contact numbers you give are live. And they must check it because there are communications that will be sent your way, especially if you make it, even whatever you make it to receive a trophy or not. As I said, gold always arrives with the scores and the feedback because that is so valuable. I think the Gold Quill is one of the rare or even the rarest award programs in the world that will actually transparently give you that. I have learned a lot from that actually. Number 5, please read the very comprehensive information. It is so authentically transparent at gq.iabc.com, and please follow the rules. The reason why the rules are there is so that we are apples to apples. So there is a fair assessment across all countries, across all languages, climes, and cultures. So there's so much information. I would recommend you really spend time, as was already mentioned by our presenters, our Gold Quill winners, that as they did one section, they went back and checked again what is the information and check what else is being asked for so that their entry is complete. Number 6 is pace yourself. Make a process, make it clear who does what. If you're doing the work plan, is somebody doing the work sample simultaneous with what you're doing? Is somebody clearing the budget? Where does it go from you? To whom should it go to? And most especially, who's going to authorize that it's okay for approval and upload and submit? So that has to be really clear because that speeds up the process and makes it efficient. Next is please contextualize your entry because these are coming from different countries and the entry that you submitted most likely is not going to be assessed and scored by anyone from your country. So please contextualize it, explain in the need and opportunity and in the other parts of your work plan, the milieu in which the event or the campaign or the tool is operating in. So there are certain buzzwords or jargons or acronyms that you use within your company or in your industry or in the country. Please either explain it, or if it's an acronym, full spell it and then put a parenthesis. I know this is very basic, but sometimes because we're just so used to what we do, we forget sometimes that the evaluator may not even know about the terms that you're mentioning or even about your company. Let's assume, and it's a chance for us to let other people know more about our company. Verbiage, because you'd rather use that space and the number of words to provide more data or to explain more or to show more feedback rather than put all the unnecessary words. Later, we'll see how else we could do that. So superlatives. There are some who, put it like it's the most magnificent and all that. That's great, maybe true, but if you mention it, then substantiate it with, say, facts and figures, or in the work sample, show the production, show the research that went into it. Also, providing too many superlatives raises sometimes unnecessarily the expectations of the evaluators. And if they do not find what you have built so well in the work plan, if it's not found in the work sample, then it kind of pulls down your entry. Pitches, because it's really not a pitch for a sales and marketing brochure. It's really the story that you took, the narrative that you took to enable you to be efficient and to have some results depending on what you set out to do. So there, we received a question before asking if they could put some, say, like they have tools or say ads in the national language or in local dialects. And our reply was, sure, it can be done as long as you put subtitles or at least give an explanation so that there is context to it. This year, there are 4 languages in which the entries can be accepted. But we have seen an entry that was in another language, but the work sample in Toto could not be translated because it was really for that specific region. But what they did was their work plan was so well explained that even if we did not speak the language that was deep within that full-length brochure, we got it because, and even the evaluators got it, and we in the awards committee got it because the context was so clear, and there were explanations and translations that helped a lot. Number 8, look for alignment and relevance to the core business. This probably would impact more on, say, philanthropy projects. It has happened that a company had a wonderful project, but the evaluators asked of what relevance will this be to the core business? We know because it's a business, so they would want some return on investment. There was one example where, say, a financial company came up with a wonderful social project. However, the question asked, and I saw the comments asked, was that, how does this now connect to your core? Did this improve, say, financial literacy among those who were your target audience? So again, it's trying to see if it's not only core, but did it have any results that changed things for the better? Number 9, use rubrics as a very helpful guide. Yes, even the evaluators, no matter how experienced we are or how well-trained we are, or even if we are winners ourselves, we still look to the rubrics to settle any different opinions or any different scores or assessments. So this rubrics is an opera maestra. It's a work of art and science that every year the groups of award committees go over and try to see how it can be improved. So again, if you send us feedback, it's very good input. It continually improves everything that we're doing in Gold Quill. Number 10, pretest your entries, work plan, and work sample. My suggestion is when you get your eureka moment that you're going to write it. So write your work plan while you're assembling the work samples. Just write it. Write it, pour your heart out into it, even if it's, especially if you're making a campaign, you have to be in 4 pages. You just write it. And then take a hike and then leave it. And then get back to it and mercilessly edit it and then show it to someone. It could be your boss, it could be someone who has no idea about what you're talking about, or it could be even someone from another country, so that you can check if your context was clear enough. And so the idea is write it early so that there is time for you to pre-test it in some way. Of course, this is not an absolute guarantee, but at least it gives you some kind of a North Star and a peg of what more else you can do. So I just put it all here. So the first 5 is assess and choose, gather your documents, secure your budget, use the name, be consistent in the entrant's name, and make sure he checks his contact number, whatever you place there. Read the rules, follow the rules, go to the online site. And the next 6 ones, pace yourself, have a process, contextualize your entry, and make sure it's aligned to your core business. Explain. If it's not aligned with your core business, then explain why not and how this is still going to help your business, maybe on the soft side of the skills needed. Then use the rubrics. It's a very, very good guide. And then pre-test. That's why write early so that it gives you time to review your work. So this is a sample of the rubrics. As you can see, for those of you who have been joining, this is probably something you're already used to. But for those who are joining for the first time, look how well crafted it is. It's like it really states clearly the manifestation that the evaluators will see in your entry and exactly what score it is entitled to. So again, it really is a very good North Star for all of us. So please take a look at the rubrics. It's also available on the website. So these are some areas that we saw that should be strengthened. So, and this isn't just at global, but even for national and some regional entries. So now this is the outline for the communication management. So these are divisions 1, 2, and 3. So communication management, training, communication research, and training and education. So number 1 is business need and opportunity. Please lay the groundwork well. As you can see from our winning Gold Quill winner presenters today, they really explained and set the stage for why it had to be done. So they did their research. They had the data all there. And let's not forget opportunities, even if the need is because of a problem. It will still have opportunities for us. So please don't forget that portion. Number 2 is stakeholder analysis. Other entrants put this in a table so that they can segment. So when you segment, you characterize them extensively. And if you want to prioritize, sometimes it's external, internal, sometimes even within external, internal, it is prioritized so that the evaluators will understand why certain resources were expended very much for this, say this action plan. Why? Because probably you can connect and see that this stakeholder was primordial to everything else. So if you don't have the data, ask help. We don't live in a vacuum in communication. You can ask human resources for the profiling of employees, business development, or even marketing. Marketing does excellent research. Number 3, goals and objectives. I'll show you a slide later. But in general, goals are really general, and objectives have to be measurable. Please make them measurable, because in the score sheet, which you can also see on the website, we cannot score you higher if you have to have measurable objectives. It's like a prerequisite to a higher score, because the way the question is answered is from the measurable objectives, so how can we score it higher if there are no measurable objectives? It also states where it began, so there is a baseline so that you can claim the results after. I'll save the rest of that for the other slide. So number 4, solution overview. We have to state the key message explicitly. Please do not let the evaluator surmise, because we're not supposed to surmise. We'll only base the scores on what the narrative is in your work plan, and what samples you show us in the work sample. So explicitly, for example, there was one entry we submitted, this one of our key messages for internal audiences was, no one will lose a job. That was the key message. And then we proceeded to explain what else we did. Then implementation and challenges, please state your budget, or at least explain your resources. And then measurement and evaluation, please, you can restate whatever it is you mentioned in goals and objectives. This one I'd like to share, very important, because there are outputs and outcomes. Outputs are those we can count, like number of visits, downloaded several times. The outcomes are things that change, the real results, and outcomes score higher than outputs. But if you're submitting in the division for the skills, it will allow more outputs than outcomes. But especially if you're submitting in divisions 1, 2, and 3, outcomes are what the evaluators look for. On the lower left, you will see these are action plans. These are not objectives. So please take note of that when you're crafting your entry. Remember, please, that there are, and Kane has mentioned this, these are the deadlines and the dates. But there is more information. There's a lot more. And for questions, please do not hesitate to email recognition@iabc.com. It will also help everyone learn from everyone. So thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you very much, Ritzy, for those helpful tips. It's important to contextualize your entry. The outcomes and output are very important results to point out. So now may I now invite all our speakers to join us in the Q&A session. We will now entertain some questions from the audience. May I call in Jen, Claire, Sunita, and Ankrita to join Ritzy and I here for the Q&A. So let's start with the question for Jen. Regarding your website, how did you measure an increase in teamwork and collaboration? So we mentioned that that is one of your results, increase in teamwork and collaboration. And how do you measure it? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have an annual staff survey that measures a range of things, and one of them is teamwork and collaboration. So that was quite simple for us to measure. Drawing the correlation with our work was important because it wouldn't be the only factor contributing to teamwork and collaboration. There was such a significant lift from year to year that helped us draw that connection, but also in our entry, we included qualitative feedback from our key audiences, so senior leaders within the organisation and our new content creators that we had trained up. So that was included as part of our data summary to really back up those numbers, that we weren't just choosing that and plugging it out of the air as something that we contributed to, but we were able to really back it up with those verbatim comments from our key audiences as well.
Okay, thank you, Jen. Another question. for your team. Do all objectives have to be SMART? Will our entry get lower scores if we do not state it as such, based on your experience, Jen?
Yeah, I think Ritzy's just sort of talked to that a bit as well. It's really important to spend time thinking about those goals and how you're going to measure them. And you will have done that as you plan your projects and initiatives from the start. So you just have to sort of put yourself back into that mindset of how things were at the beginning. What were those key things that you wanted to achieve? Had you already set those metrics against them? I mean, hopefully you have, but it's, you know, drawing out, well, what is the thing that is going to show the impact of my work and the change that I wanted to see? And that really does push you at times, but it makes your work better if you can do that. And you're really being honest about your work as well, because you're testing it against something that's difficult. You know, you want to see a change.
That's right. Okay, for Sunita, here's a question, interesting question. 80% internal open rate is really high. That's amazing. I'm curious, how often did you send out internal comms related to your project, and what factors do you think have contributed to this high open rate?
I do know that Anu was planning to answer, so I will let her take a stab, then I'll come back, Anu.
Thanks, Sunita. So I think one of the key factors is to how do we make it, incentivize it for our associates, our employees. And one way we do it is to add some fun element for them while we are at it, amplifying a project. For that, this particular newsletter, we made sure that we attach some quiz and some giveaways for our associates to participate, and that definitely boosted the click rate.
Yeah,
Okay.
add a
Yes.
few things here is that when we looked at the brand audit survey that we do every year, there was a dissonance in terms of how the external audience viewed us and internal audience viewed us, right? And there was a gap between, because we are so big, you know, the scale of operations is so huge for us. We have different business pillars, and within those different business pillars, people or employees just did not know, what is each of these business pillars doing. So for us, it was very important to look at our own, employees as brand advocates for this event, because we wanted them to attend. And this was almost during the pandemic, so we were looking at virtual participation of folks to join in. So it was basically an amalgamation of everything. We did like a top-down approach for, communicated through our managers. Then the newsletters became like a big tool for us, and we send out weekly newsletters on Wednesday. So to answer the question, 3 months before the event is when we started like prepping in terms of the communications, and we broke it down to external, internal, digital, external stakeholders in terms of subdividing within our target audience. So the data that we received, the data that we saw with the increase of the newsletter. I don't remember the specific campaign though on the 80%. I'm sure it must have been something around goodies or something like that, I'm sure.
Okay. We have a question for Ritzy. What is the single most important part or information in a work plan that evaluators look for in an entry?
Well, the evaluators read the whole narrative. So it's all parts support each other. But I would think that the part you should really, really pay attention to are the measurable objectives. Because then even the results are easier to prove. Because then, in fact, this is some entrants do this. So in the objectives, they put goals, column 1, objectives, column 2. And then in results, they paste that. So it's column 1 goals, column 2 objectives, column 3 is results. And that's when you can really see the increase, decrease, or was it sustained? So I would say all parts are important. It's got to connect. It's got to be a logical flow. If each part supports the other, but please make sure you have measurable objectives so you can claim and you can substantiate the results. Some evaluators do a quick, look at the objectives, and they do a quick look at the results, put that together, and then they read it from the top up to the bottom. So there. That's my suggestion to everyone.
Okay, measurable objectives. Okay, we're down to our last question. For Jen or Claire, for digital campaigns, we see a lot of numbers to indicate engagement. How can we present them in a way that evaluators will appreciate the data?
I'll leave that on for Claire.
Yeah. Well, the data is a really important part of telling your story, but it is about picking those kind of engagement data points that will connect to the outcomes that you're showing that you've achieved. So Google Analytics provides you a wealth of information, but you don't need to provide all that to prove your point. So for us, it was around that session time, increasing session time to show engagement with the content, which is what we were doing. We were increasing engagement with content. And for us, it was bounce rates as well. To show engagement with the content. That was our strategic outcome, was making the content better. So it's about being selective as well with the engagement data that you have to hand. And then in our work samples, contextualizing it, why this change in the data point was relevant to what we were trying to achieve. So we wanted session times to go up and we wanted bounce rates to come down. They did that. This is why it was important to our outcomes.
Okay, so be selective and contextualize the numbers that the analytics report provides. So that ends our question and answer session today. Before we say goodbye, we'd like to promote IABC certification program. Professional certification gives you the opportunity to demonstrate your knowledge and expertise and provides evidence of your outstanding abilities. The Global Communication Certification Council, which is a team of communication professionals assembled by IABC's International Executive Board, has developed two certifications: the Communication Management Professional Certification and the Strategic Communication Management Professional Certification. GCCC certification has never been more accessible. Communication professionals anywhere in the world like you can take the certification exam in the comfort of your home or office. And for more information, please visit the website gcccouncil.org. So thank you to all our speakers and presenters today, Jen and Claire from Australia, Sunita and Ankurita in India. I know it's lunchtime there. Thank you for staying with us. And of course, Ritzi, our expert in Quill. Thank you all for sharing your time and sharing your knowledge and expertise to all our attendees today. And for everyone there watching us, if you'd like to join IABC, please visit the website www.iabc.com or contact your local chapter leaders. So thank you all for joining us today. We wish everyone the best of luck, and we hope to see you at the Gold Quill Awards and the Silver Quill Awards ceremonies next year. Goodbye.